政府じゃねえわ。ミャンマ
ミャンマ
ー。アンサンスーチーの話したじゃないですか。なんか、あそこは軍が治めて。
それはどこだっけ？
で、高橋さんの話からですよ。なんか、政府の人と知り合ったんだけど、それは軍部じゃないんだったら、ダメなやつだって言って。
あ、先週ミャンマーに行ってたんだ、高橋が。お前今日どこにいんの？
今、ホーチミンです。
笹部と会った？
私ですか？
うん。笹部今ホーチミンにいるんだけ
あ、そうなんですか？
ど。うん。ほんだよ、ホーチミンにいる。
なんでホーチミン行ったんですか？
わからない。仕事とか行ってるけど。でもあいつ初めてだからさ、高橋がホーチミンにいるから連絡しろって言ったんだけど、あいつ連絡してないのかな？
いやー、そうですね。でも、昨日までハノイでした。
いや、だけど、Facebook だよ。
わかんないです。
あいつ、出版記念パーティーも来なかったし、なんかちょっとどっか行っちゃってる感じだね。まあいいや。ちょっと待ってね、名刺ね。学生今。
いや、学生ではないんですけど。
ニートです。
ニートですね。端的に言うと。
だから仕事をしてます、運動さん。
仕事
あ、そうです。鹿見です。よろしくお願いします。
名前なんていうの？
鹿見と申します。
鹿見？
動物の鹿に見るで。
鹿見？
はい。
変わった名前。じゃああなたの後輩？
後輩です。高校と大学と。
高校ってどこ？
海星高校。
すごいじゃん。海星って。
僕は卒業してませんが。
卒業してないの？どうしたの？
教師決定。無期定額にされて除籍にされたんですよ、高校。
なんで除籍されたの？
裁判を起こしたからだと思います。
なんか悪いことしたの？
教師蹴りました。教師を蹴ったんです。教師を蹴ったんです。
何？
教師を蹴ったんです。教師を蹴ったんです。
教師？
教師。
あ、教師を蹴った。あ、そうか、教師を蹴った。喧嘩したわけですね。
そうなんです。
じゃあ、これ、これから始めましょう。Why Afghanistan loves India and dislike Pakistan. So today I try to get into the Pakistan. Right? So this is actually Afghanistan. Right? So, okay, let me try to check. And this following sentence is a detailed explanation of this video shows. I don't say exactly the same as this video and the content. So I try to, you can have a look this video, then you can understand what's going on. Okay? So let's start. Takashi, how long are you going to stay in Ho Chi Minh at this time? You told me you are going to somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go Bangkok on Sunday.
Oh, Bangkok?
Yeah, just staying 3 days.
Oh, on Sunday, moving on Sunday.
Yes.
Or Saturday you can join with my school, right?
From Ho Chi Minh.
From Ho Chi Minh, okay. Let's start.
India and Pakistan invoke completely different feelings in the minds of Afghan people. In this video, we look at how India and Pakistan have played totally different role in the rebuilding phase of Afghanistan. This video has been divided into 2 sections. In the first section, we will look at 3 different ways India is cooperating with Afghanistan to meet its current challenges. In the second section, we will look at 2 ways Pakistan is destabilizing Afghanistan. India and Afghanistan share a long history. Over the past decade and a half, India and Afghanistan have seen their ties deepening. The process started with the Taliban government getting toppled in December 2001. India has gone ahead and helped Afghanistan in a number of ways. Here are the top 3 areas of cooperation. India's bilateral trade with Afghanistan stood at $684.47 million in 2014-15, an increase of 0.20% over $683.10 million a year earlier. and 20.41% higher than $568.44 million in 2010-11. India's exports to Afghanistan in 2014-15 stood at $422.56 million, while its imports from that country were worth $261.91 million. Despite the lack of direct land access, India is the second largest destination for Afghan exports. These exports are key to slow but steady improvement in socio-economic conditions of Afghanistan. India shares a close bilateral relationship with Afghanistan and had signed a strategic partnership agreement in 2011. Here are a few important cases. 1. India has provided Afghanistan 4 Mi-25 helicopters. The Mi-25s will replace Afghanistan's aging Mi-35 attack helicopters and provide a much-needed boost to Afghanistan's air support capabilities in the ongoing struggle.
Did you know this? India supporting Afghanistan. Not only helicopter and training soldiers
against the Taliban across the country. Mi-25 is a close air support aircraft armed with a Yak P4 barrel, 12.7 millimeters, built-in, flexibly mounted machine gun, as well as rocket and grenade launchers. It can be deployed against ground troops including armored and slow-moving air targets. It can also serve as a low-capacity troop transport, up to 8 paratroopers, and be used for medical evacuation missions. The helicopter is thus well suited for the Afghan Air Force role in helping the Afghan National Army take Taliban positions with close air support. 2.
Okay, just you have Wi-Fi here.
Thank you.
You have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Apart from this specific assist, India has provided Afghan security personnel with different light equipments like machine guns, etc. 3. India has also been training Afghan forces in counter-insurgency operations. Indian Army is also training Afghan women to serve in the Afghan National Army. The first batch of the 100 Afghan women soldiers started training by the Indian Army from August. India has so far given financial assistance worth over $2 billion to Afghanistan and has been involved in massive developmental efforts in the war-torn
So they're supporting them.
country. Here are two most important examples.
2 billion yesterday.
1. Salma Dam, the ambitious $300 million hydroelectric and irrigation dam located on Hari Rod River in Shisti district of Herat, is a flagship development project sponsored by India. On the 4th of June 2016, Prime Minister Narendra Modi got to push a red button together with Afghan President.
Okay, Afghan and India, very close relation each other. Okay, country is not, border is different. In the middle of two countries, they have Pakistan there. But Pakistan don't allow them to directly reach into India and Afghanistan.
President Ashraf Ghani, opening the sluice gates and powering the turbines. With a 20 kilometers long and 3.7 kilometers wide reservoir, which has a storage capacity of 640 million cubic meters, Salma Dam can irrigate 80,000 acres of farmland and generate 43 megawatts of electricity. The people in Herat have been overwhelmingly supportive of the project. In August 2015,
August 2015, very recent.
thousands of people assembled in the Herat Stadium to celebrate the progress of work. People performed the national dance of Afghanistan and presented a bouquet of flowers to the Indian consulate staff as a token of appreciation for India's development assistance to Afghanistan.
So actually, Afghanistan, they don't like United States, but without their help, Taliban will occupy this country. But finally, they expect better communication with India. I believe 10 years later, India will going to cooperate with Afghanistan to develop their country. But gradually, step by step, not now.
As a tribute to the growing friendship between the two neighboring countries, the Afghan government decided to rechristen the dam as the Afghanistan-India Friendship Dam. 2. On December 25, 2015, during a state visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the new Parliament building was inaugurated along with President Ashraf Ghani. The foundation stone for the new Afghan Parliament was laid in August 2005 by the last king of Afghanistan, Zahir Shah, in the presence of Hamid Karzai and Manmohan Singh. More than 500 personnel had worked on the building, most of them Indian nationals. After completion, this is believed to be one of the best parliament buildings in the world. The main attraction of the building is a bronze dome of 32-meter diameter and 17.15-meter height.
She said best parliament building in the world. Are you sure? I don't know.
Considered to be the largest dome in Asia.
Okay, Pakistan.
Afghanistan and Pakistan are neighboring countries. Afghan-Pakistan relations have been blowing hot and cold. Let's look into the two main issues. In recent years, the Taliban insurgency in Afghanistan has arguably become the chief source.
Okay, just summary. Taliban, Afghanistan. Okay, Pakistan protect Taliban Afghanistan, but Pakistan battle against Taliban Pakistan. Taliban is two groups: Taliban Afghanistan, Taliban Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan people organize Taliban is Taliban Pakistan. Afghan people organize Taliban Afghanistan. So Pakistan support Taliban Afghanistan, not Taliban Pakistan. They have two groups. Okay.
Of bilateral tensions. Kabul has repeatedly accused Pakistan's security establishment of destabilizing Afghanistan through its support of the Afghan Taliban and the Haqqani network, including providing sanctuaries in Fatah and elsewhere in Pakistan.
Fatah is, I just explained somewhere, this document is a tribal area. FTA tribal area. So nobody controls those area. Even if Pakistan government, Afghanistan government cannot touch FATA tribal area.
The Afghan Taliban's top leadership is based in Quetta, though some top-ranking figures may be in Karachi. In 2013, Naseeruddin Haqqani, a Haqqani network leader, was shot dead near Islamabad, which is not far from Rawalpindi, the location of Pakistan's military headquarters and a city where some believe other Haqqani leaders are based. The Pakistani army has been described as the godfather of the Taliban. Even that might understate its influence. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani recently demanded that Pakistan either take military action against Taliban commanders on its soil or arrest them and hand them over to Kabul. Pakistan has mastered the art of pretending to help the United States while actually supporting its most deadly foes. Supporting Taliban helps Pakistan in securing USA's aid and also enables it to influence Afghanistan's internal affairs. Pakistan has long been accused by international circles of protecting the Afghan Taliban, so as to use them as proxies in Afghanistan, with a aim to curtail Indian influence in its western neighborhood. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani recently said Pakistan must allow his country direct access to India through Wagah border in Lahore.
So they cannot directly
At present,
support from India to Afghanistan.
Pakistan allows Afghan trucks carrying goods meant for India only up to its last checkpoint at Wagah and not to the Indian checkpoint at Atari, which is just less than a kilometer
Wagah checkpoint is 1 kilometer. They just
away.
using truck.
This is one of many ways Pakistan has tried to restrict Afghanistan's development and use it as a lever against USA and India. It is very clear from this video that India is helping Afghanistan get up to its feet, and Pakistan, on the other hand, is trying to drive Afghanistan back.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for
Okay,
more
this is
videos.
all the Afghanistan. Just this Haqqani network, I explain. FATA is federally administered tribal area. This is tribal area. This is Afghanistan, this is Pakistan. Nobody cannot control for those areas. And Afghanistan Taliban is staying here. Okay, the big picture here. Tribal zone. And also Haqqani network is somewhere in some, maybe here. Islam, somewhere I can't forget that. I can't. Okay, this is Afghanistan. If you don't have any, this is already training, Afghan training by Indian soldiers. Okay, if you don't have any question, I'll move into the Pakistan. Wagah border. They have 1 kilometer. They need to by hand carry for the India, from India to Afghanistan. Oh, wait a minute, this is Taliban, it's a video. Have you ever seen Taliban? Taliban not yet, right?
Not yet.
Sorry, just Taliban is, you have a look, Taliban. The story about Taliban, how organized and how they are controlling it into Afghanistan. When does this period? Little older, 2015 January, 2 years ago, Taliban.
The Taliban poses a threat to the stability of Pakistan and Afghanistan, where constitutional governments find themselves really in a war with the Taliban over legitimacy and territory. The concern is not to allow the Taliban to return to power at the point of a gun.
This is a critical moment for Afghanistan. It's the era in which the international community has invested enormously and has held a large presence. It's essentially coming to an end. So the real question is how...
By the way, Taliban organized the government 1996 to 2001, or 5 or 6 years, organized in Afghanistan. And the American government said Taliban is terrorist. But my feeling, Taliban is not terrorist. America decided this is terrorist. And if Taliban, whenever they organize government, they can manage government. But actually they managed government for 5 years. But they attacked New York 9/11. Since then, Bush attacked the Afghanistan Taliban government and started the battle Middle East. So Taliban government collapsed. So since then, Taliban is battle against Afghanistan government, right? So and that time, more than 10 years, Karzai was the president of Afghanistan. But tell you, actually the Karzai only governed this country, only the Kabul and capital. But nationwide is still Taliban govern this country. But anyway, American invaded Afghanistan. Taliban number is reduced roughly 6,000, but now it's 60,000. Okay, do you remember I told you already existed American soldiers 8,000? Additionally, they decided to send 3,000 to 11,000 people, soldiers there. But I told you last week, American soldiers, America is already improving AI and robotics. But actually, bombing is by drone. And also, I'm not sure, but they're going to power 10 times. Like robotics and automated tank and everything else. Now they try to compete against Taliban. But Taliban they are familiar with terrorist activity, so American cannot beat them. They're familiar with for terrorist attack, so American soldiers cannot kill them all. Okay, so America recognize they cannot win, but they try to compete against Taliban. Whenever America retreated, Taliban will govern this country. Ghani government will going to be disappear immediately, right? This is
well, will the Afghans deal with the continuing security challenge they're going to face from the Taliban and indirectly from Pakistan, which continues to provide a sanctuary.
Oh, that, by the way, and we're going to do Syria. The same thing, the American, Bashar al-Assad, he's a bad guy, and the American government want to kill him. But I believe the Assad is not bad guy, because the American government tried to treat him as guilty. But Taliban is, I think, probably, defined the same way. They try to.
The biggest concern for the United States and the international community is that if the Taliban retake significant control of Afghanistan or assert themselves inside of Pakistan, they will again provide safe haven to international terrorists, like Al-Qaeda, who attacked us on 9/11.
See what they're talking about. But need to consider for the... Okay.
Of course, the humanitarian concerns are very real as well. Wherever the Taliban have governed, women have suffered. Children, especially girls.
Oh, this is actually Saudi Arabia. Is the same Saudi Arabia. Haqqani, sect of Haqqani is the most severe follow on Quran. Okay, Quran. So very severe, and anytime they try to very strict rule of law, and especially for women, and that the woman is doing wrongdoing, they are stoning and killed by stone, or their nose are cut out. So very severe strict control they are doing for this.
Girls haven't been able to go to school. The kind of ruthless governance that they.
Okay, woman is exactly Haqqani. This Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia and Haqqani sect is woman is motherhood. Motherhood is just only going to be mother. You don't study. You don't need to just make a child. That's all. But she's good. But recently, Saudi Arabia accepted women's driving, but never adding on the kind of women's power or something like that. Westerners believe, okay, women will going to liberate and doing that like a democracy. No kidding, they're never going to be democracy. Okay, don't think about democracy. Islam is never get along with democracy, and Quran is very strict control of their, especially women, no liberty, no freedom of speech, and this is it. Even most loose control of Islam of Malaysia, still Malaysia is very strict compared with democratic country. Okay?
To provide is not satisfactory to any sense of human rights.
When I was in Swat, which was a place.
You know her, right? This is a Nobel Prize laureate. Is what the name of his? Her name is just somewhere here. Malala. Okay. She says something, but nobody listens to her.
Place of tourism and beauty suddenly changed into a place of terrorism. I was just 10. That more than 400 schools were destroyed. Women were flogged. People were killed. and our beautiful dreams turned into nightmares.
Talib can, at its most anodyne, just mean student, religious student. There is, of course, famously a much darker side to this movement. They use an interpretation of Sharia, of Islam, that is very hardline, particularly around moral questions like women's rights.
So she is talking about women's rights, something like that. But Islam people is son of a bitch, you know. That's the reason why just 1 million people accepted last year. 1 million Islam from Syria. That turmoil, they got problem. Islamist is different from democracy. Right? British, why Brexit? Just because of those people. They don't want to accept immigration from Syria. That's the reason why.
The Afghan Taliban movement originated in 1994 during the period of civil war and chaos after the collapse of the communist government.
Oh, beforehand there, Afghanistan communist government. This is followed by USSR, you know, just occupation for those areas, and then Taliban take this government.
They swept across the country, and during the rest of that decade, the Taliban movement was essentially a governing party, set up their version of an Islamic State in Afghanistan.
By 2001, it was clear that the Afghan Taliban had a close relationship with Al-Qaeda. And that's why, after 9/11, the United States invaded Afghanistan and deposed the Taliban from Kabul.
We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbored them.
At that time, okay, United States asked the Taliban government try to send to the states Al-Qaeda people who was involved in 9/11, including Osama bin Laden. And Taliban government rejected. Then American troops get into Afghanistan. Okay.
After 9/11, the Taliban made a resurgence in Afghanistan and gradually built themselves up to be quite an impressive fighting force again. There are many reasons why people are part of the Taliban movement. You will see the hardcore religious ideologues who believe that they're going to restore Afghanistan to a proper Islamic state. You've got some who just feel like power should be theirs again. You've got some lower level guys who are probably just there for the money or because they've had a local grievance in their village or district and the Taliban are going to help them resolve it. And there are some who find it appealing. Some of the propaganda of the Taliban tends to be around forms of nationalism, anti-Westernism.
The Taliban leaders who fled Afghanistan after 2001, they were given sanctuary in Pakistan. They were allowed to resuscitate their movement in 2003. They were helped considerably by the Pakistani intelligence agency.
Pakistan had a policy called the strategic depth, which called for dominating Afghanistan through a client regime that will not allow India into Afghanistan and will let Pakistan use Afghan territory in case of a confrontation with India. Pakistan skillfully channeled resources to nurture extremely violent Islamist factions among the Pashtuns, both in Pakistan.
I believe, you know, they said Pakistan helped Afghanistan Taliban, but tell the truth, they cannot control tribal area. Nobody can get into those areas. This mountain area and the northern part of Pakistan.
And in Afghanistan. But eventually some of them did turn against Pakistan.
The Pakistani Taliban were born in 2007, so much more recently than the Afghan Taliban.
Okay, he's just talking about Pakistan's Taliban, okay?
And they are made up of Pakistani nationals, and their goal is to carry out a revolution in Islamabad, the capital of...
So, Pakistan Taliban is trying to revolution for current Pakistan government. Okay, different. Afghanistan Taliban is different. Afghanistan Taliban is coming to Pakistan territory, but they're going to beat Ghani government. Pakistan government is a revolution for the current Pakistan government. Objective is different. So Pakistan government, they are not that Afghanistan Taliban is not enemy of Pakistan government, right? Afghanistan Taliban is not enemy of Pakistan government. Pakistan government, they don't do nothing at all for Pakistan government, right?
Pakistan, not in Kabul.
और पाकिस्तान के अंदर इस ज़ालिमाना निज़ाम को तोड़ करना और इन मुसलमानों को शरई निज़ाम देना और इन मुसलमानों को इंसाफी निज़ाम देना, ये इंशाल्लाह हमारी मकसद और हमारी पॉलिसी है।
While no one can imagine the Taliban marching back into Kabul right away, as the United States withdraws and as NATO withdraws and as it leaves behind Afghan security forces that have lots of challenges, not just their professional competency on the battlefield, but also their cohesion politically, and whether they have a government that they can be loyal to, and whether they have enough popular support, whether they're willing to take the kind of casualties that fighting the Taliban has required. So these are big questions about the future of Afghanistan.
We have to recognize Afghanistan will not be a perfect place. And it is not America's responsibility to make it perfect. The future of Afghanistan must be decided by Afghans.
What he said, he is true. Okay, by the way, on the middle of the presentation, I'm going to show you the territory of the... some ways I show the chart of the Taliban and...
Afghanistan area.
Oh, here. Afghanistan, who controlled what? This is Taliban controlled this blue area. Contested area. I don't know contested area what this means. This is battlefield. Contested area. And the gray area is Ghani controlled area, they said. But actually, all government, I believe, government only control this Kabul area. And American is 11,000 soldiers is scattered all around here, but not safe. So only government those areas. Okay.
What do you mean contested areas?
Contested area is battlefield.
Battlefield. Oh.
Yeah, battlefield. It means this guy is red area is American soldiers there, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, but actually, almost all area territory is Taliban occupied. Okay, so now back to the video. Okay, this is. Oh, sorry, this is forgetting. Okay, this is the main event. Taliban occupied this country. What the history of this country? Okay. And 1996, Taliban occupied Kabul until 2001. And as you remember, the 1988, and the Soviet Union is retreated at that time. Okay, so just continue.
As U.S. forces depart from the region, the Afghan government and the other parties to this conflict face certain clear dilemmas.
Obama declared they will treat every soldier from Afghanistan.
By when?
I don't know, but maybe as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Yeah. And Trump is also same opinion, but as soon as he elected, he decided to send soldiers to Afghanistan. I told you last week, the reason is obvious. He wants to get Afghan resources, emerald and oil, coal mine, iron ore. And he might, I don't know, I'm not sure 100% for sure, not, but his family will invest in a private company is occupied in Afghanistan.
Trump family?
Family, yeah.
Really?
I believe he tried to get money from them. This is American first, okay? Don't misunderstand. What is American first means, okay, American try to steal everything all over the world. This is America first. Afghanistan is a good target to get something from Afghanistan. And also last week I told you Yemen is the same. And America sold how much 1,000 million US dollars to sold the weapon to Saudi Arabia, and Trump sold a weapon to the Saudi Arabia. All those weapons is for the Yemen to kill civilian, right? To kill civilian anyway. This is America first.
America economy first.
Yeah, America economy. It's stupid, right? So, on this book, on this paper, I'm writing down very strongly. Japanese government need to support for those areas, this country and those countries, whoever, Yemen and Afghanistan, with United Nations, not America. With United. No, whatever.
But
what do you
I
want
have
to
to
say?
make a comment here. See, I see what you're trying to say, what Japanese government should do, but as Japanese government, they don't want to interfere
Why don't interfere?
with U.S.
No, not interfere. This is a Japanese government. Okay, did you remember Abe invested $200 million for South Middle East a couple of years
money,
ago?
right? So
Yeah.
money is okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Japanese government do try to, okay, we're going to consider for school in Afghanistan. We're going to build 200 schools in Afghanistan. We're going to play 100 hospitals in Yemen. America never against it. Go ahead.
I have to make more comments based on my what I learned about Turkey with NPO, George Soros, CIA. Do you think Japanese government will send Japanese?
Oh, okay. Japanese is not George Soros.
No, but that's why I interfere.
They consider for Japan is okay. This is American espionage and American NGO. So this is Japanese need to change the attitude for those countries. Otherwise, global base. Oh, Japan is abide by or follow American, policy all over the world, right? So Japan needs that image, change the image. This is what I try to say.
Okay.
Okay. This is a major. Okay, Japanese government pay money. Don't do that.
Right. I mean, since the Gulf War, they haven't changed.
This book strongly telling. Almost every country is struggling to how to build infrastructure. It's most important is how to educate people. Japanese government, okay, try to prepare school, they put on education and utilize a lot of sending material, so forth, and instead of America. America is just soldiers, Afghanistan, soldiers. What are they going to do? Okay, they try to get Afghanistan resources. Try to steal those resources. Oh, my southern beach. Japanese never do that, okay?
No.
But Japanese can't against Trump. Okay, Japanese support you, but instead of supporting to stealing resources, but Japanese government want to try to build school, train young people. They never against Japanese attitude through United Nations. Without United Nations, Japanese government cannot do anything at all. Foreign ministry, there's some beach people.
Can I have a little more comment? Instead of UN, how about G7? Can we use G7?
No. G7 is just cooperate with United States.
But no, G7 is peacekeeping,
No.
without-
NATO is very close to the United States. NATO is they never support for the Middle East. NATO never support Syria. NATO never support Yemen. The American side always. Be careful. This is their soldiers. Okay, G7 sending only soldiers, and we must be careful about that. We try to do. Okay, United Nations is not strong power, but this is their focus on how to build peace in the world. They're very poor power. Okay, they can do anything at all. I tell you, they can do anything at all. But Japanese government can support them.
I agree, but what I'm saying is, if it's within UN, China's member of UN, Russia is member of UN, and they got the strong voice in UN.
Don't worry. That kind of paying money, they don't need to vote for the United Nations, committee. They don't need vote. It's kind of bring money and bring people and to joint work with the United Nations. They don't need to get acceptance for the core member.
No?
No, they don't need. Okay. I tell you, but recently I studied in Africa.
Yes.
And gradually I recognize China is not new colonialist. Still, European people strong colonialists in Africa. Still, they have companies. They have store authorized. There is some asset there. But China is different. China is only business. They will not be teaching education, school, hospital. No, they don't do that. They're purely doing business. So maybe in Yemen or in Afghanistan. Okay, Afghanistan, they started the oil refinery. Do you know that? They try to dig in oil now. So they're only doing business. So China is, they're not considered for the try to occupy or slavery action. No, they don't do that.
No, that's not the way I understand.
And recently, the democracy, I'm studying this. I recognize what Japanese can do. This is democracy. Japanese democracy, number one in the world, compared to the United States, British, and any other country, the best in the world. So you have experience. You know everything. So you need to do that. You need to Middle East and South Asia and the Middle East. You need to support them.
Become a role model.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay.
I see what you mean.
Now you get it?
I understand.
Okay.
But I understand, but I have one more comment. How, you see, Japan is advanced in those political system because it's based under very peaceful environment. And if Middle East or wherever, the third world countries, first, if it's a peaceful environment, then we can become role model. But in order to achieve what you just suggested, we haven't experienced, as your previous book from the Middle East and Southeast Asia written, Japan haven't been really going through that kind of environment. So right now, for us to go there is too early, and somehow we need them to become peaceful environment, which is first is difficult. That's something.
Oh, you need to study for United Nations people, and they have very heavy skill, but unfortunately they don't have money enough. They don't have a lot of staff to support for those areas. So we try to study their skill from them and join task force to go into Yemen, to go into Afghanistan. Currently they are doing very small project, but we Japanese, if you're going to give them money, 200 million, but instead of giving them 200 million, you're going to send people.
So you're saying that UN do have a skill. They do have a skill?
Yeah.
There's just two things. Not enough money and not enough staff?
Yeah.
That's their problem?
Yeah.
If there's enough money, if there's enough staff, then they should solve?
Of course. And also, I tell you, okay, Japanese most problem is they say also United Nations give them money, but few staffs there, okay, unbalancing. Japanese staff in United Nations, very few. Okay, we're going to send 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 staff sending to United Nations, and those people to send into Afghanistan. Those people send into Pakistan and Yemen, and give them focus on training, education. Okay, so this is so we're going to leverage our Japanese power in future. Takes 10 years, long range plan. This book I just strongly recommended. Okay, and Southeast Asia and North Asia, we don't need to kind of United Nations. They just AI, robotics, and they are getting power. They don't respect Japanese, economy, politics, but they don't need Japanese, anyhow, know-how. And South Asia and Middle East and Africa, they are very far behind for their democracy, but many countries they are chasing for Afghanistan. They are chasing for democracy. Japan is the number one in the world. Why not you going to support to Afghanistan, who gives them what is democracy, gives them more help for their training. Education is the best way to get in better life. Okay.
Definitely, indeed.
Better life. This is the best way to do that, and this is what I studied for this democracy. Okay, just remember, just listen.
The Afghan state needs to come to terms with how much of the Afghan insurgency can be brought into the political process, how much needs to be fought to a standstill, how much needs to be destroyed in order for the Afghan state to survive.
What the British public, the American public, the public in all our partner countries, Japan, European Union, everywhere else, Canada, expects is the same that what the Afghan public expects. A functioning government, a government dedicated to the well-being of every Afghan.
For its part, the Pakistani state needs to determine how it's going to deal with its Pakistani Taliban insurgency. It also needs to determine how it will deal with the Afghan Taliban, whether it will continue to allow a safe haven to persist on its own soil. The Taliban insurgents also face a dilemma. They need to determine what kind of a political settlement they would be willing to accept, whether from Islamabad or from Kabul, whether they can be brought into the future state of Afghanistan or a Pakistani state, and what their main goals are moving forward. And because it's not a monolith, different members of the Taliban are likely to choose differently.
The United States and the rest of the world, which has invested so much over the years in Afghanistan, has really got to decide what it is they're prepared to live with and what matters most. There's one school of thought that would say, we don't really care what...
I forget that the American government invested Afghanistan $700 million US dollars. 7,000 million. Is 7 trillion?
No, billion. That's billion. Million, billion.
So okay, 7,000 billion.
No. If it's 7 billion. So,
no, 7 trillion.
7 trillion. So 7,000 billion is what you're trying to say?
7 trillion.
So 7
trillion money invested.
US dollars?
US dollars.
7
trillion, yeah, I believe 7 trillion.
In last 20 years you're talking about? Or
10 years, 16 years?
16 years.
Trillion, I believe. Billion? I can't remember. Trillion.
That's a huge number. Yeah, and US dollars.
US dollars. I forgot how much money they invested. I did say before, I forgot the trillion. Not really 7,000 billion. 7,000 billion is
700 billion.
Huh?
700 billion.
Oh, 700 billion.
700 billion.
Okay, 700, okay. And okay. By the way, okay, this one is if he is talking about if America is invested lots of money and they try to sustain Afghanistan, try to kick Taliban out, and the Taliban is moving to Pakistan and tribal area, then still in Afghanistan 60,000 Taliban soldiers there. And if you look 10 years later, American cannot sustain soldiers keeping Afghanistan because of their country power. Okay, it's leverage. Okay, they cannot make leverage for totally. China is emerging, and first of all, India is getting big power.
Mm.
Then, what happened for Taliban? This is a different map will come up. Taliban, America retreat, Taliban will occupy Afghanistan. They're going to organize government, and America cannot protect this kind of Taliban leading government. And my guess, okay, Ghani, as the president, Ghani will coordinate with Taliban. Coordinate with Taliban. They will not battle each other. The same nation, same nationality, same race, okay? Ghani is the president. They will go and discuss with Taliban and they organize.
Ghani is Islam, right? Islamic?
Yeah, same. They are, Taliban is Sunni.
Sunni.
And Ghani probably, maybe it's Afghanistan, Sunni. Maybe some is Shia, Sunni. Okay, so this is the kind of sort of thing. My guess is okay. And they currently Ghani said that they cannot talk with Taliban. But 10 years later, it's a different situation will going to happen.
Afghanistan looks like. So long as the government that runs it, whether it's some version of the current government, the Taliban, or some combination, so long as they don't allow their country to be used as a terrorism base. Or the United States and others have to say, we care about that, but not just that.
One quick question.
But we also care.
Okay.
Any concern, or is there any problem, or if Ghani gonna tie up with Taliban, and is there any risk, or is this gonna be a problem? Any more people in India will join Taliban?
I don't think so. Just only United States hate Taliban, but only United States. So they're going to losing power. I think world map is going to change. Okay, and Taliban is American defined Taliban are terrorists.
Yes.
But actually, I believe they are not terrorists. Okay. They actually they organized 5 years government in Afghanistan, and they will change their culture and cooperate with Ghani government.
Then is there any Taliban in India or no?
Oh, India is the Ghani is still, they have a similar type of government. India will support them.
So India welcome Taliban into India?
I think so. If they just organize Taliban and the Ghani talk with each other, compromise.
Then if US start to decrease the global power, still US doesn't like Taliban, then that makes it interesting. India says, I'm not going to follow.
By the way, India never follow any country.
Oh, never follow it.
Never cooperate in any country.
Oh, sorry, you did write that one.
Very heavy independent. They never cooperate with China, with America. So India is also, I try to keep balancing. And Afghanistan is a very good place for resources.
Mm-hmm.
So India want to close relationship with them. And population is only 30 million and very good size. And so why not? So this kind of observation is nobody do it, but need to consider 10 years later, world map will changing. China get power, but India is get power in this Middle East, South Asia. South Asia's most biggest power will support India. India will dominate in South Asia. So he tried to protect Afghanistan. In 10 years later, Americans say whatever Americans saying, India will go speak out. Okay, Afghanistan is my friend. And Taliban government, no problem at all. So they're going to do that. This is my observation. Right? Okay, just please.
Is the quality and nature of life.
Sorry, I erased the voice. Oh, finish? Finish. Sorry, finish. Okay, this is Taliban. So we are moving to Pakistan. Okay, I don't read this Japanese sentence. You can read this. Bhutto that killed 2007. I'm going to show you the Bhutto video. She's saying very good presentation. In Pakistan also Islam. Father also killed. And also you need to consider the bribe and narco business, narcotic business. And they are not doing well with the United States after the assassination of Osama bin Laden. And also right side, this one is very famous China-Pakistan economic corridor. One belt, one road. Is from China to the Guadalajara Bay. Very famous. 3,000 kilometers and almost many tunnels. So Pakistan will going to big impact for this Chinese investment. And they said how much US dollars? 620 oku dollars. How much US dollar? 620 oku dollars. How much? I can't count. 620 billion?
62 billion.
Billion.
Huh? 62 billion?
No. 6 billion. 6.2
billion.
6.2 US dollars. 6.2 billion US dollars.
62 billion.
No, 62 billion.
62 billion?
Yeah. 620億ドル、62 billion.
10億ドルがビリオンする。
10億ドル1ビリオン。
2桁。
あ、でもドルですよね、そもそも。
あ、ドル。
だから、
60 billion. But big money, okay? And this country's GDP to 280 billion US dollar. And also their average per person of 1,500. And Bangladesh is 1,400. This is still poor country and not so much difference Bangladesh and Pakistan. I forget Afghanistan. Afghanistan very similar to Bangladesh, 1,400. Okay. And this English talking about this, they started their company in 1947 and so forth, and the father and assassinated, and then skipping to new recent years, and what Pakistan is changing for the majoritarian democracy, and but Muslim world. Okay, Muslim world and democracy. This is Turkey is the same.
Majoritarian democracy and non-liberal.
But different from the Republic of Turkey. This is Islamic democracy rather than modern liberal democracy. This guy is talking about modern liberal democracy is because secular country in Turkey before. Okay? Secular Turkey before. But now it's Erdogan much more focused on the not secular. Okay? So this one, the liberal divide, the modern Republic of Turkey is because they are Muslim country, but they are not focused on the religion. But Pakistan is very strict Islamic country, so democracy. So this is, they said like that.
So they do focus on religion.
Huh?
They do focus on. You said they don't focus. They do focus on.
They do focus on religion. But Turkey they didn't. But now it's focused on religion. So this is a little bit different now. But this is why he's talking about this because okay, political history Pakistan, that we're going to study about Pakistan history, and also we will have the detailed explanation is in Japanese Wikipedia, but we're going to have a look.
So what is majoritarian democracy?
Majoritarian democracy is largest majoritarian democracy is, I think, like a typical is Japanese democracy. Okay, 2/3 voting to change the constitution, and over half of the that members favor for the vote, and they want to success voting. So sort of things majoritarian democracy.
So probably there's no representative government. Just everybody equally vote on leader.
How about America, majoritarian democracy?
Well,
I think the question is majoritarian democracy against that. What kind of other democracy exists?
Minoritarian democracy.
What is it?
Which is, I don't know, Japanese or.
I just what does it mean? Majoritarian democracy.
I found it in
what they said? Huh?
Mm.
What they said? America is majoritarian democracy.
They vote governors. They don't vote really the president.
What he said? Takahashi, do you know the majoritarian democracy means? Majority rule of society citizen, but all
majority rule.
But this is what the different what is that? Not majoritarian democracy.
No, there's no. No more.
Huh?
Famous expressed as having the inherent danger of becoming a tyranny of majority, where the majority in society could oppress, exclude minority groups. In contrast to majority democracy, they pursued the tyranny theory. Consensus democracy was developed in response to the emphasized role by many people as possible to make government inclusive with majority support from society.
What does this mean? Tyranny.
Tyranny
of majority. What does this mean?
Just a moment, please.
Tyranny.
Absolute ruler who governs without restrictions. So without, dictator? Absolute rule, tyranny is like dictator. Absolute ruler who governs without restrictions. So like there's no constitutions to regulate the leader.
No, the democracy, not majoritarian democracy. What is democracy? No majoritarian.
Because 4 or 5.
Yeah.
No. My question is non-majoritarian democracy. What does this mean?
No majoritarian. No majoritarian. That's consensus.
It's a
consensus. That's consensus democracy.
Non-majoritarian democracy.
Right, that's the, so,
non-majoritarian democracy, compassion of federal and consortial theory.
This application consensus decision-making process legislation to legislation. It is characterized by decision-making structure which involves takes into account as broad range of opinions as possible.
You can see this.
As opposed to
Hashi, this is non-majoritarian democracy.
In an earlier attempt to compare federalism.
Each character of non-majoritarian democracy, or consensus democracy.
As I said, consensus democracy.
Executive power sharing, balanced executive legislative relation, strong bicameralism. What is a bicameralism?
Bicameral. That's something I don't know.
Multi-party system.
See, yes. So no dictatorship.
Multi-dimensional party
no
system.
Dictatorship.
Proportional representation. Federalism, decentralization, written constitution, and minority veto. What it looks like it United States.
Legislation so two separate assemblies. So it's like Japan.
Japan?
Well, in England, or not single party. There's two parties.
Yes.
Why two parties non-majoritarian?
Because splits in two, I guess. Two leaders, right? Two representatives. If it's one majority, that's one majority. There will be no. So if there's a two-party, that splits into two powers, right? If there's one party, that's just one party, correct?
Oh, you mean Pakistan is one party?
Well, that's what sounds like the consensual theory is.
Okay, let me try to check. Okay, this is very important.
Yeah.
Oh, Pakistan government.
Probably one party. Probably one party.
So, Pakistan.
GO. No, GO.
Huh?
Not GA. Not GA. GO. Yes. There you go.
Huh?
GOV.
Okay. Pakistan government. Oh, no. Government of Pakistan. Okay, they have three executive, legislative, judicial.
All powers are vested by the Constitution. So it looks like non-majority. The power duties, right? The power are defined. So by Constitution powers, Prime Minister acts as the Chief Executive.
This is democracy.
So looks like democratic.
You said they are one political party? No kidding.
No, wrong. Okay, that's wrong. So what does? So let's go back to
political Pakistan political party.
Majoritarian democracy. Yeah, majoritarian.
List of political party in Pakistan. Here you are. Here you go. Multi-party democracy. Many party here.
Right. Right.
What do you say in Japanese majoritarian democracy?
多数決型民主主義とコンセンサス型多極共属型わかんないんだよね。
Here we go. I found something interesting. Majoritarianism isn't democracy.
Huh?
Majoritarianism
Which one?
is not democracy. No, this is if
Which one?
I don't know the no I don't know. I found the English article.
Explain.
Explain. Well, I need to read first. But peak is support.
What do you not majoritarian, non-majoritarian. What do you say?
There's an article called Majoritarianism Isn't Democracy. So let me read it. But just for your information, I'll send you a link.
Oh, consensus.
So that's the opposite, right? So that's the対照的. That's me.
Okay, this is, for example, the minority will going to be considered non-majoritarian democracy.
Also considered.
Minority group is considered
Also
for voting.
Also considered.
Right? So
Also.
this is also not only majoritarian. Some minority will consider race and religion, and so consider for those pieces. Okay?
And also 任性, right?
任性違うよ。任性はマジョリタリアン。任性はマジョリタリアン。
多数派と少数派の意向をそれぞれ代表されるようです。
No. 多数派と少数派は、This is 比例代表制。少数派。
対照的に
比例代表制 in English, what do you say?
I don't know.
Minority voting, right?
Well, yes, minority voting is minority voting.
Okay, you understand? Japan is non-majoritarian democracy.
Right. That's
Japan is not non-majoritarian democracy, okay? Because they have not only voting a preferable person, but also they try to emphasize the minority group. Right? So small party can send the representative direct.
So this is proportional representation system.
This is not familiar with English. No, this is not
proportional representation system.
Okay, now I'm going to start for the.
Wait. So we need to. So you said. So it's Pakistan. We saw many government parties. So Pakistan is not majoritarian.
No, majoritarian. Many parties doesn't matter. They don't consider for the.
They don't consider.
Small group.
Okay.
They don't consider for the race. They don't consider for the races. Consider for the religions. That's majoritarian democracy. Okay.
So the
majority will win.
Okay, majority will win.
So because this country is Islamic country, so we don't accept the Christianity. They don't accept
okay, right.
That's a majoritarian. Japan is non-majoritarian. because Japan is accept minority people, and so small party will going to get the vote and sending diet. And
So,
this country is different from.
Then the U.S. is also representative.
Takashi, understand?
No.
Okay, majoritarian the democracy means they don't accept minor group. Like, for example, Japanese voting is we're going to vote for the party, not specific person. So if they're going to vote party, they're going to send this party, going to send member to that. But Pakistan, they cannot. They many parties, but you're going to specify a specific name to sending the diet. So this is majoritarian. And they don't consider for minority. Or they don't consider for the like non-Islamic religion. No, they don't think about that. They consider religion, race. Okay, they don't thinking about minority.
So basically, very simple.
Very simple.
Very simple.
This is majoritarian.
Japan
is a non-majoritarian democracy. Japan is also, we need to importance for the minority people.
Give equal opportunity to minority, right?
Equal opportunity, but for minority. So this is the majoritarian democracy. Is just only single simple organization for democracy.
Winner wins.
Okay, Takashi, understand?
Still not sure. That does it mean winner take all?
No. Yeah, that's right. That's right. For example, they're going to send the Christianity member to the diet, and the Christianity party, they will not accept them.
No power. So party can exist, but no voice, probably, no power.
It's the same in Japan.
Huh? Japan is different. Japan, we are not majoritarian democracy.
Consensus.
Consensus democracy. Consensus means, Japan is Christian people accept, and Buddhist people accept, or races, many races. If they organize a party, party submit for the voting, and party vote, they can attain the certain number of vote. They can specify that member to send to Congress.
Well, the current, it's been mixed with the social embracement and political system. I don't understand it.
Oh, what's it? What do you say?
So how much the society will embrace the minority in the religion, and how the political decision is made is different.
Okay, so Pakistan, they never accept minority people, and they never accept a small group. Every their democracy is decided by majority. Even they have many parties, okay, but many parties are just sending a representative person to their government, parliament.
But no power.
But if they don't consider for the minority people.
Yeah, so the system is same in Japan.
Japan is different.
Yeah, for example, Shamin will send the one person in the parliament, but they are not never care. They never care.
They never what?
Some party who just has one person in the parliament. The Congress. They don't get paid any attention.
No. Okay, Japan. No. Japan is okay. We allow them to vote for the party, not specific person. So this is minority. Okay. Majoritarian is everybody will just as a candidate for that parliament and candidate. And that non-majoritarian democracy means you can select the party, not the person. This is non-majoritarian. Okay, we're going to have a whole country that we're going to candidate, no any candidate, but we're going to ask them for voting some party. It's minority group. They are Japanese government accept minority.
How about United States?
United States is let's see.
Consensus.
Consensus. Why?
Why?
Majority.
Because if you look at the states, everybody will also choose for a political party. Well, they choose for governors. And governor choose presidents.
Yeah, so it's still...
Okay, America is non-majoritarian.
Yeah, some pages saying the U.S. is rather the majoritarian democracy.
Okay, majoritarian democracy country, very few. Very few. Usually, any democratic country, they accept some minority people, they accept some special religion, accept some small races, no discrimination, just respect for the small group. But Pakistan, they don't do that. So majoritarian is very exception, you know. Japan and United States is non-majoritarian. Usually non-majoritarian. Consensus democracy.
Because majoritarian means dictatorship, leads to dictatorship.
Why dictatorship?
Because one party, right?
Not one party. Pakistan, they have many parties.
I mean, but one.
We now party.
No, Pakistan is 10 parties there.
10 parties.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, I show you.
But do they have a voice? I mean,
of course, yeah.
Voice?
Yeah, voting is majority.
Maybe I'm not understanding yet either.
This is list of political parties. Did you see this?
Yes, well, I did see earlier. Yes, I did see.
Many, yeah. Many. 8 parties. These are major parties.
Have to study.
Minor and regional parties, but they will not have minority, will not going to be accepted as their parliament.
So, what is the point in debating whether the Pakistan is majority or non-majority democracy here in this video?
Your voice is just a little bit not clear. Just a little bit away from microphone. Say again.
Okay. I don't understand yet about the definition of the majoritarian democracy. But what is the point debating whether it's majority or non-majority?
Okay, non-majority means just minor group will going to be recognized by parliament. Okay, majoritarian means only accept majority, not minor. Minor is not accepted. For example, small like in Japan, you consider for small party. Okay, this is my small party, and then vote this party, and they're going to attain some certain number of votes. They can send the representative to parliament, right? But Pakistan, they can do this. They're going to have. I show you that this party here. So every party they send candidate for the Congress. Okay, parliament. So they send this region. They're going to compete against the other candidate. Then they can get vote. Okay, they're going to send the party, the person to the parliament. Japan is not only this, but also they're going to vote for the party itself, not the candidate. This is minority, not majority, right? So like, okay, I'm going to believe Christianity. Why don't you vote Christianity? I don't specific candidate I'm going to elect for this election. And this case is they're going to certain level of voting for the Christianity. he can pick one candidate to the sending to the parliament, right? But Pakistan is, if you're going to send a Christian candidate, you need to specific name on it. You need to specify your name. Then people vote him, vote her. Then he going to attain a certain level of voting. He can send her to the Congress, Parliament. But this is not easy, you know. This is kind of, you know, like a lower house. This case is a very small region, very difficult to get vote for the sending the parliament. But I told you, minority is okay. Countrywide, we're going to specify your party, and you can vote for this, vote for some party, and they're going to certain level of vote. You can, this party head, you can appoint one person to send to Congress. But Pakistan, they don't do that. Just I don't know how regionally they're going to specify, but by small region, they try to get the minority opinion. Very difficult to send the parliament to the Congress, because if they're going to take, like in Japan, there's a lower house, like a Minato Award, they will going to accept one, and okay, we're going to small party. Even if small party, we're going to vote for the Minato Award. Nobody can win any Chiyoda Award, any place they can award, but countrywide, some Christianity party or something like that, they can get certain level of vote. So this is minority. Pakistan, they don't have minority. They just only every vote is majority. They go.
Yes. So how about if you look at the voting system in Japan, one seat election or a large election. The first one is in every section. Just one person can be elected. So
yeah, these are lower house, right? Upper house is different. Upper house is two-way. One is for region, the other one is countrywide, right? So for countrywide voting, we can send minority people to the direct member, right?
So basically, as unno-san keeps saying, basically, if you vote for person, then just that shows how many people voted for the person. But if you vote for the organization, then maybe there are more people who chose certain organization, which can mean more or less, right? Mm-hmm. And that gives a chance for minority to raise voice. So as unno-san basically stated, if you're voting for a person, then that's majority. If you're voting for organization, then that's consensus.
So this case is probably, I don't check in detail about their territory for the voting territory, okay? They have very small territory or large territory, whatever. They need to send some candidate for this territory, and they need to get the highest vote to send in the parliament. And so they have a lot of party here, and you can see the total of the final result of currently their board members and the independent and some other, the one or two people. This guy is won at some territory, some ward or somewhere specified area, right? So yeah. Minority is different. Minority voting is different. Minority case is just all countrywide. Okay, if you go get some certain level of vote, you can send one person, two person to Congress. Pakistan is not different. Pakistan is every set up the territory. Okay, just Islamabad. Okay, you can win 10 people. Selected is 5 area, 6 area. Then you going to candidate for those areas. So they should win for specific areas. Otherwise, you can send any delegate to the board, delegate to the parliament. And if you take consider for minority, okay, they need to define the countrywide. Okay, for countrywide, you don't need a specific name. You try to vote for the party, and then you go to certain level of vote. They can send, this person to the diet parliament. So this is a non-majority democracy. But America case is different. No, they don't consider not consider countrywide voting, but they just by state by state. And this is they send a representative for each state. So it means not majority, right? Different type of non-majority democracy. Majority democracy is very simple. Majority is every territory you're going to send a candidate. So this candidate should win at that territory. Then you can send that person to parliament. This is majority. It means they never accept minority.
Yeah, so that is the concept of tyranny of majority.
Yeah.
Majoritarian democracy is the potentially bringing the risk of the tyranny of the majority. So complete小選挙区 is one single
right.
So just only one person is allowed to be elected.
Exactly.
Every section, and the whole country is completely divided into the small section, and there are many small sections, and thereby just one person can be elected from one section. Then it's likely to elect.
That's right. That is majoritarian democracy. That's right. Okay?
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. How about Somaya? You study a lot. You get a lot of Japanese. What is your opinion? Say something.
日本語でいいですか？
日本語で say something. Okay. Takahashi can listen here. 日本語でいいよ。
いや、なんかいろんな意見があって、ちょっと制度と紐付けて言う話と、なんか今の話だと、マジョリタリアンの方は小選挙区制で、なんかコンセンサス型の方は比例代表みたいな話なんですけど、アメリカってなんかそれともなんかちょっと言えない。
アメリカ違うの。アメリカ違う。小選挙区制じゃなくて、アメリカは、どちらかというと、リプレゼンタティブボーティングシステム。州ごとに、選ぶから、それはマジョリタリアンじゃないんだ。やっぱり違う。
コンセンサスではないってことですよね。だからそれで言うと。
コンセンサス、マジョリタリアン、ノンマジョリタリアン。
ノンマジョリタリアンって言ったら、その任意制っていうのは、多分、マルチパーティーの意味じゃなくて、上院、下院。
任意制はマジョリタリアン、ノンマジョリタリアン関係ない。任意制は関係ないよ。
そのチェック&バランスの、じゃないんですか？
いや、任意制は関係ないよ。チェック&バランスは、任意制は、マジョリタリアンデモクラシーとかノンマジョリタリアンではない。両方でもある。
この言葉ってなんか、アレンド・レイトハルトさんが書いた、なんか、パターン・オブ・デモクラシーの言葉を取ってるっぽいんですよ。いろいろ調べてると。で、その中で言ってるのが、要するに、多数決だと、要するに51取ったら全部の権力持つじゃないですか。だから、マジョリタリアンっていうので、それよりも、そうすると 49% 全部捨てることになるんで、じゃなくて民意を反映するっていうのが、デモクラシーだとすると、コンセンサス型の方が、進んだ民主主義だっていう意見が。
今回トルコがね、レフェレンダムやったでしょ？で、あれ 49% 反対したんだけど、51% 勝ったよね。だから、エルドアンは、勝ったよって言うけど、やっぱりトルコの、説明では、49% 反対したんだから、それは民主主義としては十分考慮しなきゃいけないよっていう意見があるんだけど、それはだからマジョリタリアンなんだよね、リファレンダム。だからリファレンダム、国民投票は、マジョリタリアンデモクラシーなんだけど、国によっては、だからリファレンダムはマジョリタリアンデモクラシー。だけど実際には選挙そのものは、日本の場合はマジョリタリアンじゃなくて、マイノリティも 助けてる。アメリカの場合も、州ごとにそれぞれ、共和党とかデモクラット、リパブリカンあって、それぞれのマジョリティが選択して選ばれてくるんだけど、全体から見るとマジョリタリアンではないんだよね。マイノリティもやっぱり認識、なんていうか、リコグナイズされてる。されてるかな？
それ、すごく、わかんなかった。
されてるかな？アメリカって、
でも実際に、
マジョリタリアンで。
でも確かにそうなんです。州49対51で州分かれたら、51勝つんですよ。州はね。
いや、だけどさ、アメリカってさ、マイノリティ、例えば、州いくつなんだかわかんないけど、50の州があってさ、でも50の州全体にまたがってさ、マイノリティのオピニオンが反映されないよね、州ごとに。分かれちゃうから。だから、マジョリタリアンだよね、アメリカは。
ですね。そうすると、だって、比例代表っていう仕組みが。
比例代表がね、僕は、ノンマジョリタリアンだと思うんですよ。
それは僕も同意ですね。
で、だからそれ以外はマジョリタリアンじゃないかな。アメリカはマジョリタリアンデモクラシーじゃないか
な。だからそう言ってる意見もいくつか。
そうだよね、やっぱりそうだ。俺もそう。大橋違うよ、お前。
失礼しました。
オッケー。高橋ごめん。定義を、今、染谷の意見を聞いたら、アメリカはマジョリタリアンデモクラシ
ー。でも、日本も最終的に、じゃあ、法案を通すか通さないか。
日本はノンマジョリタリアンも明らかに。衆議院は全部小選挙区でしょ衆議院って。だから参議院は全国区ってあるよね。
その選挙はそうなんですけど、で、選ばれた人たちが国会で、いいか悪いか、可決か否決かっていうところ。
それは違う、それは違うんだよ。それは違う。それはマジョリタリアンとか、ノンマジョリタリアンじゃないの。代表を送るか送らないか。ノンマジョリタリアンっていうのは、その少数意見の人を国会に送る。それがノンマジョリタリアン。
じゃあ、選挙までってことです
か？そうそうそう。その通りです。これ、ものすごいレコグニッションでね、ものすごい、ことを今勉強してるんですけど、マジョリタリアンデモクラシーは、僕も前からね、マジョリタリアンデモクラシー何かって疑問に思ったんですよ。で、今日はっきりした。
結局、独裁政治もそうですけど、民主主義もやっぱり最後多数決で決めるってなると、やっぱりマジョリタリアンがベースになる。それをどこまで、チェックするか、バランスを取るかっていうのが、それこそ
あれはね、あれはね、憲法がどっかに保障されてるんだけど、少数意見として、例えば、何%のボーティングがあった場合には、なんか議会の議題を提出できるとか、発言できるとか、確かにいろいろな、国会法があって、要するに少数者でも意見を言えるというのがシステムがあるんですよ。それはね、ノンマジョリタリアンだ。いや、投票は過半数だけど、もしくは憲法改正は3分の2だけど、そうじゃなくて、党でも10分の1の党かなんか何%か持ってれば、議案の提示できるとか、質問ができるとかってあるんですよ。もうどれぐらい何%かわかんないけど。それはね、マイノリティなんです。
権利として保障されてる。
マイノリティの人が要するに発言できるんですよ。国会で。それはね、ノンマジョリタリアン。投票は過半数だけど、でも意見を言ったり、議案を提出するのは何%かの、票を持ってればそれができるんですよ、党で。だから例えば共産党はこれできるとか、内党できるかって、そういうルールがあるんですよ。何%かこれ覚えてないけど。それはノンマジョリタリアン。いい？今日はなんか知らないけど、パキスタンに入らないで。なんか、
でも大丈夫です。
大丈夫だけど。OK。じゃあ、パキスタン、I'm going to get into the Pakistan history. Very short.
Okay.
Let's finish, right?
The story begins soon after the creation of Pakistan in 1947. The country's founding father, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was faced with a rather awkward fact. there were almost as many Muslims, if not more, in India than there were in this newly created country of Pakistan. So it is quite obvious that Jinnah was very conscious of this fact when he delivered his famous speech on the 11th of August 1947, clearly stating that religion has nothing to do with the business of the state. Just 2 years later, an objectives resolution was passed, which was supposed to be a summary of the final constitution. And just guess where a huge chunk of it came from. The work of a man who during the Pakistan movement had actually denounced Jinnah, the chief of Jamaat-e-Islami and an Islamic scholar, Abdul Allah Maududi. Contrary to common belief, he wasn't just another Islamic cleric. He was a well-read and prolific journalist and author. Not only did he challenge the Muslim nationalists of the likes of Jinnah, but he had also managed to offend many Deobandi and Barelvi scholars. So when the 1956 constitution changed the name Republic of Pakistan to Islamic Republic of Pakistan, it did not come as a surprise to many. In 1958, President Iskandar Mirza, who wasn't happy with the constitution, terming it as a selling of Islam for political ends, conspired with the military chief Ayub Khan and dismissed the assembly, and the country's first martial law was imposed. Just 20 days later, Mirza himself was dismissed by Ayub and forced to leave the country. In 1962, Ayub brought a new constitution that highlighted the regime's understanding of Pakistani nationhood to being a Muslim state where the modern and reformist spirit of Islam would guide the country's politics and society. The parties of the left, like the Awami National Party, opposed him on the basis of his policies with a capitalist outlook, and religious parties like Jamaat-e-Islami opposed him for his more liberal policies. Politics in Pakistan was already getting much complicated by the time Ayub transferred power to Yahya Khan in 1969. In the elections of 1970, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman of Awami League won the highest number of seats in East Pakistan, and the People's Party of Pakistan was the winner in the West. The delay in the handing of power to the Awami League saw the eruption of a full-scale war in East Pakistan. This war resulted in East Pakistan becoming the independent Republic of Bangladesh. In December 1971, the power was handed over to the elected Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's party, the Pakistan People Party. It was in 1972 that Pakistan studies became a compulsory subject in schools. Although the Bhutto regime was populist, socialist, and largely secular, in 1973 it managed to get a consensus from all parties to unveil a new constitution that reintroduced Pakistan as an Islamic republic. In 1976, a 9-party alliance of religious and anti-Bhutto secular parties united under the umbrella of the Pakistan National Alliance, or the PNA. In 1977, the Bhutto regime met the main religious leaders of the PNA belonging to JI, the Jamiat Ulema Islam and the Jamiat Ulema Pakistan, and agreed to make Friday the weekly holiday instead of Sunday. He also agreed to ban the consumption and sale of alcohol and close down all the nightclubs and bars. But this did not save him from receiving another shock. In July 1977, his own general toppled him and then arrested him, which led to a shameful trial of his hanging. Zia almost immediately got down to the business of radically transforming the ideological complexion of Pakistan, starting with the ban of any mention of Jinnah's famous speech of 11th August 1947. Soon, Jinnah's famous motto, Unity, Faith, Discipline, was changed to Faith, Unity, Discipline, placing faith before the others. Religion was the perfect kind of excuse for a dictator to flex his muscles at that time, especially in a country where the upper and middle classes who had traveled to oil-rich Arab countries had confused the power of the petrodollar with the power of the strands of faith. The greatest tragedy of Zia's policies was the birth of a mindset that refused to recognize the multi-ethnic and multi-sectarian makeup of the country, and instead offered a rather complex, stiff, and artificial understanding of the faith. This promoted an inelastic and an entirely narrow-minded strands of faith, pushing them from the fringes of society into the mainstream, and in the process retarding the natural evolution of Pakistan's multicultural character and society. It also offended various Muslim sects and subsects, creating serious sectarian tensions. In 1988, on a clear, bright day, a special VIP C-130 Hercules took off from Bahawalpur airport. 2 minutes later, it dove nose first into the desert, exploding in a ball of fire. In it, along with other top-rated Pakistani officials, was Zia-ul Haq. No one survived. Soon, The general elections were held and Benazir Bhutto of PPP became the first woman prime minister in the history of Pakistan. Only 2 years later, President Ghulam Ishaq Khan dissolved the National Assembly, dismissing Bhutto's government on charges of alleged corruption and incompetence. Fresh elections were held and Nawaz Sharif was elected as the prime minister. You would think this time the democracy was finally restored. However, unfortunately, 3 years later, Sharif's government was dismissed for the same reasons: alleged corruption and incompetence. General elections were held. Benazir Bhutto was elected prime minister for her second term. Farooq Lagari, a member of the PPP, was elected as the country's president. Another 3 years went by and President Farooq Lagari dissolved the National Assembly, dismissing Benazir Bhutto's government, which was operating under a cloud of corruption allegations. General elections were held again. This was the fourth time such polls had taken place since 1988. Nawaz Sharif's PMLN party won in a landslide, and he was elected prime minister for the second time. 2 years later, his army chief, General Pervez Musharraf, took power in a coup, placing Nawaz Sharif and other political leaders under house arrest. Pakistan saw another long period of military dictatorship, which finally came to an end when general elections were held in 2008, with Yusuf Raza Gilani elected prime minister and Asif Ali Zardari, Bhutto's widower and now co-chairman of the PPP, replacing Musharraf as president. In 2013, the PPP-led coalition government became Pakistan's first democratically elected civilian-led government to complete its 5-year term in office. A caretaker government was appointed and a general election was set for the 11th of May. Ever since I was a kid, I have heard my dad saying this country is going through critical times. He heard the same thing from his dad, and his dad heard the same words from his. I just have one wish on my mind. I wish I'll be able to tell my kids something else, that this country is on its way towards stability and development. I wish I can tell them that they should be proud of being the citizens of a developed nation and be genuine, proud Pakistanis.
Okay, Pakistan is current president is not famous. And Bhutto is assassinated. I just saw somewhere for the current this Bhutto, and this is father.
Oh, he was murdered.
This is Pakistani politics by ranking and finally bribed, right?
Oh, wait. What does PM stands for? CM stands for?
What? CM?
Yes, CM, PM. Prime Minister?
No, Parliament member.
Parliament member.
CM is some local member.
Okay.
And more local.
Okay.
And this is Pakistan politics. And Jinnah is Bhutto father and daughter. She is hanged, right? She is assassinated. And this is the current president. I show you the current. She is not saying she is not familiar with us, right? I didn't know him. Usually everyone recognizes who is the president, but this Pakistani president is not famous. Or maybe you know some other person. No, Musharraf, yeah. Musharraf is is moving. Musharraf is long, many years, 10 years. Okay, so let's try to start. She is make a good presentation, and I just summarize in Japanese. Bhutto, Benazir Bhutto, and this one is a very good video. She educated somewhere just. Benazir Bhutto was. They have. Not talking about her career. She is graduated American University here. I think just some career. I didn't write down the career. I didn't write down her career. She's just maybe inside. She's the explainer. Okay, let's go to. I have 10 minutes, so we're going to have a look at 10 minutes. This is, I think, long one. 40 minutes?
Oxford.
Oxford? Her English very well.
On behalf of parliamentarians for global action, it's both my pleasure and honor to...
What?
When was this video?
What?
When? How old is it?
Oh, this one is before she assassinated. So, yeah, not 2013, this was
2002?
2000, just a moment, this is one, it's, also, this introduction guy is dead in 1991.
Okay, thank you.
1991, okay? But this video itself is up 2013, but... Okay, but this guy is already dead.
Welcome Ms. Benazir Bhutto, former Prime Minister of Pakistan, here today. Ms. Bhutto has kindly agreed to speak on the daunting topic of democracy in the New World Order. I must say, on a personal note, it gives me particular pleasure to welcome Her Excellency, because one of the other times that I heard her speak was when she was the principal speaker at the Harvard commencement, at which my daughter was graduating. So her presence brings back some fond memories for me. For those of you who are not familiar with the event of which this luncheon promises to be the highlight, we're meeting here today as part of a global dialogue on the New World Order to help chart
oh my God, the luncheon meeting, 15 minutes.
That remains today a vague concept yet to be fully defined and agreed to by the nations of the world. This event has been organized by Parliamentarians for Global Action, an international network of legislators working across party affiliations and geographic boundaries in search of global solutions to problems affecting the international community. It is my pleasure to serve as treasurer of the organization. I'm delighted to see that this gathering has attracted the attention of leading parliamentarians from literally all over the globe. For it seems to me to be critical, if the New World Order is to be an improvement over the old or cold world order, that the principles that guide us must be formulated through a broad process of consultation with the whole of the international community. Clearly, the United States must, in my view, take a leading role, but it is vital that we hear from all those who must be our partners so that we may, together, in shaping the post-Cold War world, forge a world that is more peaceful, free, and prosperous for all. Thus, we are very fortunate today to have with us a leading voice in the global struggle for representative government, one who knows all too profoundly the difficulties and the tribulations that effort entails. By way of background, Ms. Bhutto holds a degree in government from Radcliffe and completed her graduate studies at Lady Margaret Hall, Oxford, where she was elected president of the Oxford Union, the prestigious university debating society. She was the first foreign woman ever to hold that office. In 1989, as I had indicated previously, she was awarded an honorary doctorate in laws from Harvard University. Benazir Bhutto has faced formidable challenges throughout her lifetime. It was an historic achievement when, at the age of 37, she became the first woman head of state of an Islamic country and was responsible for restoring her nation to civilian rule. We in the United States Congress last received her when she spoke before a joint session of the House and Senate in her capacity as Prime Minister of Pakistan. Among the accomplishments of her government, for which she takes the most pride, are the doubling of Pakistan's education budget, a quadrupling of foreign investment, a 50% decrease in the inflation rate, and the restoration of constitutional principles of freedom of association and freedom of expression.
Wow.
Today, she continues to lead the Pakistan People's Party, and I know we are all eager to hear her unique perspective on developments in her own country as it struggles to build democratic institutions, and the lessons that she is drawing from the dramatic global events of the last 2 years. So without further ado...
But it's been especially significant for me to come here today to the global parliamentarians, because I too am a parliamentarian. And I commend the initiative which was taken by Canada in beginning this intra-parliamentarian dialogue. In fact, I have been trying to persuade the president of the global parliamentarians to send a delegation to visit Pakistan and to see how our parliamentarians are faring. I do believe that such global exchanges will further enrich our experiences and enable us to offer political and moral support to each other. In fact, as a parliamentarian from a Muslim country, it was my desire to see a Muslim women's parliamentary union, because none exists. And as Prime Minister of Pakistan, I thought it would be a great service if one Muslim country could see that another Muslim country too had women parliamentarians. And in a day when fundamentalism is on the rise, I think it's important for women parliamentarians in Muslim countries also to make their presence felt. That's a task. That's a task I left unfinished, but which I intend to finish, which is why I'm still in the political battlefield of Pakistan. It's also especially significant for me to come here to the United States at a time when tremendous changes are taking place for the entire world community, and particularly for freedom and for democracy. For the people of Pakistan, for the people of Eastern Europe, for the people of the Soviet republics, indeed, for the people of Central America, the years 1988 to 1991 have been years of tremendous change, when it seemed that almost overnight dreams were turning into realities. With the communications revolutions, with the advent of the fax machines, and even CNN as an international network of information, it seems that ignorance is disappearing and greater awareness is growing. And with this greater awareness, we are all becoming citizens of the world. For we have entered the last century, the last decade of this century, interconnected, intertwined, interrelated, and interdependent. People in the East Bloc saw the free societies in the West, and they asked a simple question: why? They compared it to the repression in their own lives, and they asked a simple question: why? People in Pakistan saw democracy in neighboring India and other countries of South Asia, and they compared it with the repression in their own lives, and they too asked a simple question: why? In every country, from Nicaragua to the Russian republics, when given a choice, people chose freedom. They chose freedom because there are values on this world which are universal. Freedom is one such value. It is a force of history which cannot forever be denied. If I may quote to you the philosopher poet of Pakistan, who once wrote that life is reduced to a rivulet under a dictatorship, but in freedom it becomes a boundless ocean. And that is why, whether they're people living in the villages of Balochistan or people in the Ukraine, whenever they have been given a choice, they have chosen freedom. And freedom means, above all, the right to vote in meaningful elections and to elect a government of one's choice. But for me and the people of Pakistan, our roller coaster experiment with democracy has not been an easy one, and the restoration of true democracy and human rights still remains for us an elusive goal. The last 14 years of that odyssey have been filled at times with tragedy, at times with triumph, at times with sadness, and at times with joy. For many of those years, we witnessed in Pakistan a brutal military regime which overthrew the elected government, executed the elected Prime Minister, suspended the Constitution, banned political activity, banned political parties, and subjected the press to rigid censorship. While narcotics barons flourished, women were subjected to legal discrimination, and student and labor unions banned. I watched my own father executed on a trumped-up charge of murder, despite international outrage and calls of clemency from the Muslim world, the Western world, and indeed from the communist bloc. For almost 6 years, I was imprisoned, sometimes in one jail, sometimes in another, sometimes under house arrest, sometimes in exile. But in August 1988, General Zia, the military ruler, died in a still unexplained aeroplane crash, and his death paved the way for the holding of elections in Pakistan. The military backed the election.
Okay, her presentation is very good, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm enjoying this.
So that's right. That's why I picked her speech. She was assassinated after that, but she speaks very good. So I just picked her presentation. On luncheon meeting, she spoke 50 minutes for her address like this. And next week I'll try to continue with my explanation. But her English is very good English, and also the content is very well prepared. So I think next week we're going to continue. So, any question?
She's a Oxford and Harvard graduate?
Harvard graduate.
And also Oxford.
Really?
She was a leader of something at Oxford.
Both university?
I don't know if she graduated from Oxford, but she was leading something in Oxford. It was introduced to Oxford.
Any questions?
Nope.
Takahashi, do you have any question?
No.
This is a good presentation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next week we'll continue. And this Saturday is, by the way, I'm going to. We finish Korea. Oh, okay. Saturday is very different one. Australia.
Australia.
Oh my God, the type of presentation. I prepared Australian material on Saturday morning.
What about Australia?
This Australia is Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia?
That's the reason I prepared Australia material for in Southeast Asia.
Part of England, right?
Yeah, just actually the part of England. But Australia is just very interesting presentation this Saturday. you can expect my presentation this Saturday, 4 hours. Okay, this is good for that.
So by the way, Muto studied at Harvard and University of Oxford.
Both?
Wow. So she studied.
Oh, she's so smart. Okay, today's I'll finish today's lecture.
Thank you.
So see you Saturday again. And Somewhere, are you coming on Saturday afternoon, right? Saturday morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Afternoon. Okay, it's Saturday afternoon. We're going to discuss about overseas investment to Japan.
Overseeing which company?
No, not specific. Overseas. Why overseas company failed for investment in Japan? And I asked Edo to prepare the two company, local Dutch company.
So what industry?
No, I don't ask that, any kind, but just two local companies, medium size, not famous, and how they're going to do in Japan. And we're going to discuss. Okay, so we'll finish, okay? So Takahashi, see you Saturday, okay?
Saturday, yeah.
Bye-bye, okay, finish. Did I change something? I want to close it. Oh, okay, so finish this. Okay.
深見はいろいろ選挙を手伝ったりとかしてたんですよ。
誰？ん？
深見が。
誰？
知り合いの選挙を手伝ったり。
お父さん？